Terry just came back, so we got all the energy from Terry. I hit a Terry chance. I'm like, all right, we about to be rocking. And then, okay, boom, I get in the end zone. I hear the crowd going, Deebo. I'm like, yo, like, nah, this is lit. This was turned up, but...
The Next Man Up podcast is presented by Lansdowne Resort. From kickoff to check-in, score a game-changing getaway in the heart of Loudoun. Lansdowne Resort, proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Commanders family for our next man up. He's been in the studio once, but this time a little different. He was putting pen to paper before. Now he's our leading receiver, leading in catches, leading in targets, tied for leads and touchdowns. The man that does it all, Deebo Samuel Sr. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, brother. How you doing, man?
I appreciate you, man. I know this is a very busy season, man, and what a season it's been for you. Last time we spoke, you had just signed. What has it been like? We through 4 weeks now. What has it been like being part of the Burgundy and Gold?
It's been a blessing for sure. Kind of like related to what we talked about the first time about, coming in here and just, I'm doing the best I can at my job and whatever the coaches ask me to do. And I think, consistently doing that at a pretty high level, So I'm pretty good here and I love it here for sure.
Hey, man, you doing your thing, bro. It's crazy because there's always like growing pains with any type of change, with anything new. But it seems as if you've been here forever. It seems as if the chemistry that you've been able to get with multiple quarterbacks at this point it's just been natural, man. Have you felt that way? What has worked here?
I've been, in college, I played with probably 10 quarterbacks. In the league, I played with Brock, Jimmy, Trey. So, just coming over here and just playing with an amazing quarterback 5. And then you got Marcus as well that come in and play well as well. It's just those are like things that I can't control. Only thing I can control is how I go about my way of, making sure I'm present, like being where my feet are, and like being wherever my assignment is telling me to be, like just being there and just doing it at a high level.
And it's not every day you get traded to a place that has the Rookie of the Year, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, a guy like Jayden Daniels. What about Jayden Daniels makes him special, man? Makes him different than any other quarterback you ever played with?
Man, it's crazy. And this make it sound kind of, I don't
cliche?
know. Yeah. The man really, have fun playing the game. Like, you don't see too many people, laughing and smiling, in the middle of plays, even calling the play. It's just like he's just been here before. This is second Jayden, if you get what I'm saying. So he done been through it all. So it's just like the man really be having a ball. I remember the first game I played with him not the preseason, but when we played New York, I went up to him. I said, bro, you really out here having a ball. He's like, bro, this is just me. And then it's just man, the man love the game for sure. And he know what's going on.
How does that affect you as a receiver, right? Because he said you've been around the block, you done played with a few quarterbacks. How does seeing somebody just enjoying it, even though they have all the pressure in the world, how does that affect you?
It really don't. It kind of makes the game a little funner for me.
Yeah.
Knowing my quarterback out there just having the ball, so I'm like, he the leader of the team, so how you can't go out there with a little swag, that's how I am anyway, higher energy guy. But once I see the quarterback like that, I'm like, all right, we got something going.
Are you having fun?
Oh, for sure. Definitely having
what
fun.
Has been the most fun about this season so far? We love winning. We love all the things, putting that work in, man. But you're still a human being at the end of the day, man. This is new for you. What's been fun?
I don't want this to sound kind of off a little bit, but it was a stress relief. I feel like myself. I feel happy. I'm enjoying the vibe. I'm enjoying the energy, the new scenery. It's just things like that could just all that together. Just at the end of the day, I'm just overall happy to be here.
What does that feeling come from where you're just you feel released and free? Is it really just doing something new, or is there things that's happened in this building or on that field that have made you be like, yeah, no, this is the spot for me?
Things in the building, the people that's around the building. I'm really cool with Bobby, receiver coach, man. He from the crib, so kind of bond from there as well. But it's, what I'm saying, is at the end of the day, I was in San Fran for 6 years. And so, I think it was time for a new scenery. And then, once I got here, I'm just okay, let me work on my way in, see how it's going to go. And as it getting closer and closer, we in camp. Now we 4 weeks in, bro. It's just probably the happiest I've been playing the game.
Bro, we love that, man. And we happy to see you because, dog, you've been out there cooking, man. Let's go to that first game, New York Giants. This one's at the crib. In front of the fans, man. I always call them the best fans in the NFL. I'm sure you feel the same way now that you've played. That first touchdown wasn't receiving, but you still got in that end zone, man. What was that like, doing that in front of your new fan base?
Man, it was crazy. Because after the first touchdown, this week 1, mind you, Terry just came back, so we got all the energy from Terry. I hit a Terry chance. I'm like, all right, we about to be rocking. And then, okay, boom, I get in the end zone. I hear the crowd going, Deebo. I'm like, yo, like, nah, this is lit. This was turned up. But, yeah, man, it's just things like that, man. The fans are outrageous out here for sure. I'm definitely vibing with it.
And it seems like you're enjoying the fans. It seems like you're enjoying your teammates. But another thing that I think we have that a lot of places don't, we've got a lot of alumni in this building, a lot of guys that have done it at a high level before, too. I see you and Tanner kind of growing a bond. I see you taking the time to show love to him. How fly is that to have somebody in the building that put up crazy career numbers, somebody that you respect, but somebody that takes the time to rap with you and kind of help you along the way,
yeah,
too.
For sure, man. It's always good to have a mentor of guys along those lines. Wes Welker was my coach, so kind of talk to him a good bit, and then Santana, whenever I get the chance to see him, like after the game, going in the huddle, going in the tunnel, I ran into him, and we were just going back and forth about the game. It's just little things like that I appreciate more than anything.
And you seem to be getting to do that for a lot of these young guys here, too. Yes, you're still getting game from the OGs, but now you get to give game to these young guys like Luke, guys like Jalen Lane, man. How dope is it to be able to not only do what you can on the field, but be leaned on as a leader? Because it seems like you're very highly respected as a leader in this locker room.
I kind of related this as like when we was in camp, like the young guys that we have is way ahead of the curve. So it wasn't really much that you can kind of teach them besides the game of the league rather than the game that they came from in college. Luke was already here last year, so he kind of already got to upsize his 2 weeks, 2 touchdowns in a row for him. Kudos to Luke.
Yeah.
And then just Jay Lane, like the plays that he's continued to make is just like I just said, like they're ahead of the curve. How fast they process things, it's just been amazing to me. But, I always tell those guys, bro, like, whatever it is, like you can always hit me and be like, yo, what this is, what do you see, like how it looked to you, this, that, and the third. But as of right now, man, I think they've been doing a really good job.
It's funny, every time I talk to these young cats, I ask them the things that they are learning from you, getting from you. And the majority of them talk about the things off the field, recovery, getting your mind right. And our partners at Lansdowne Resort, they like to know that y'all getting it done on the field, but you're getting it done off the field as well. So when the youngest come and ask you, hey, man, how do you relax? How do you take care of yourself? How do you do your downtime? What do you tell them?
Like, for us, like, downtime is when I'm like, I done took care of my body here in the building, this, that, and the third. Like, but when I'm at the crib done watching film, this, that, and the third, I play a little 2K and just get back on the game with the guys for a little bit.
You pretty good at 2K?
Yeah, I'm pretty nice.
You on the new 2K26?
I'm nice.
You nice like that, so we can play after this and you will beat me. Yeah. What team you use?
I don't play quick play. I play my player. Like,
player. So what kind of player you built?
I got whatever.
It don't matter. You like that.
Whatever you need.
Do you hoop in real life too?
I used to.
Oh, but now you don't do none of that, right? It seems like everybody I talked to last season, everybody was on hooping. Bobby Wagner, Jayden Daniels, man. But why you used to? You done now because you just focus on football?
I'm done now. I ain't got no reason to be going in there trying to get right. But, I get some shots up here and there and be playing around.
Well, I'm glad you ain't hooper, bro. I'm glad you're saving your energy for on that field, man, because you've been going crazy. Then you get your receiving touchdown, right? That first game, you got that rush touchdown. Then you get a receiving touchdown. When me and you spoke last time, we talked about those things, those expectations you have for yourself. We talked about those doubters that are outside that have a ton of things to say. How do you feel 4 weeks in, man? Do you feel like you've silenced those doubters and those questions?
But like I told you, in this aspect, I don't too much do it for the people that's outside. I don't go out there and try to make plays for the people outside. I do it for me internally. Because I know at the end of the day where I want my legacy to be and how I want to be, pursuing when this game over with. And what matters to me is like when this game all said and done with, like I got a son now that's coming up and I get to, show him what daddy used to do, this, that, and the third, and get the chance to coach him up in whatever he want to do in life.
How has that fatherhood aspect of Deebo Samuel changed you? Because you a senior now, right? You didn't come into the league as a senior. There's something special about being able to share your name and have a namesake, man. How has that helped the man that's on the field be even more productive?
Man, I eat, sleep. Everything I do is related to my kid. Like, whenever I think about doing something, I'm like, all right, how my son feel about this? You get what I'm saying? So most of the things that I do for us, like work and how I carry myself, like off the field, I just think about like my kids. So everything, like I just try to have a good time.
How old is your kid?
He'll be 4 in December.
4 years old. Has he gotten to the age where he realizes how dope his dad is, like on the bigger picture of things? Do you think he really understands what you're doing on that field?
What's so crazy? He definitely understands football.
Yeah.
Like she said, Daddy running fast. Daddy scored a touchdown. Daddy need to get in the game. Daddy's tired. It's like little things like that. What's so crazy when, like, you know, when I was playing in San Fran, you know how the people be chanting like Deebo, Deebo. He don't say Dada when they be doing the change like Deebo, Deebo. So he be in tune with what's going on around the facility.
That's
Like he's so in tune with the game for sure.
That is crazy, man. And it seems as if you've been in tune on this game on another level. You mentioned it, right? Yeah, you play with Jayden too, but now you're playing with Marcus Mariota. How are you able as a leader to help the other receivers, the other times, everybody in the room understand that, hey, sometimes we're going to be playing with different guys, but it's still football at the end of the day? Have you been able to help the guys kind of learn through that? Because this is the first time for some of these guys.
See, the thing is with that, like, at the end of the day, we have a job to do. And the quarterbacks have the job to do. Our job is to make the quarterback job easier. And whether it's Jayden or whether it's Marcus, our job shouldn't change. So how we go out there and practice with Jay shouldn't change how we go out there and practice with Marcus. It's just, we should be as consistent as it can be.
There's a job to do. And Deebo, before I let you go, we're headed to the Rams. Back-to-back road games. That's not always easy. What can we expect from Deebo Samuel and these Commanders? Now, we are recording this on a Monday, so we do not know about the quarterbacks. We don't got to talk about that at all. But what can we expect to see from this team as we go and take on the Chargers?
I think, you know, as you see, we lost the game to the Packers, how well our defense came out and played at the home game, and how well the offense came out and played at the home game. I think you're going to get a good sense of that as well because, you know, nobody likes losing. I'm probably one of the biggest losers, but I like carry it on my shoulders. But at the end of the day, it's like a part of the game. You're not going to win them all, but I think you're going to see a real physical team ready to go out here and start fast and get shit rolling.
Hey, Deebo, man, I appreciate you setting the tone for us, man. It's been dope seeing you here, man. We love having you in the building. Commanders family, our next man up leads in a ton of statistical categories, and I don't got no doubt that ain't changing no time soon. My guy, Deebo Samuel. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Commanders family, we hope you are enjoying Next Man Up. Now, before we get to a very special legend, you got to pay some bills. So, Commanders fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Commanders MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win game tickets, access to exclusive team events and experiences, along with 15% off Commanders gear at the online pro shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Commanders MVP membership for free. That's right, for free. Head to AAA.com/Commanders to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive. Now, back to the show. Commanders family, for our next man up, we have a very special legend, possibly one of the best offensive linemen to ever do it, not just in the burgundy and gold, but in the NFL. NFL Hall of Famer, a three-time Super Bowl champion. Welcoming in our Washington legend, Russ Grimm. Russ, how you doing today, sir?
Thank you. Well, I'm doing fine. Nice and chilly up here in the mountains. I'm good.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were just talking about how fall got here pretty quickly. I miss summer. But, Russ, we appreciate you taking the time to jump on. Being able to talk to legends like yourself that have just accomplished so much is such a joy for me, and the fans love hearing from you. I don't remember the last time the fans got to hear from you, so this is great. So I want to start in the beginning because we could talk football all day, but I like talking about the person, the things that truly matter when going through this football life. So let's start at the beginning. You're drafted in the 3rd round by the Washington Redskins. When you were picked up back then, do you remember the feelings you had, the things you were going through when you knew your NFL dreams had come true?
Oh, I was excited about it. I mean, obviously the draft was nowhere near televised as the way it is now. So, I mean, I actually was fishing on the morning of the draft because it wasn't on TV, and I came home and they said I needed to call Washington. I got drafted. So I called them up. The next day I was on a plane headed to minicamp.
And then you come out here, and I believe you got drafted as a center. But for your rookie year, they immediately move you to guard, which is something we've kind of seen from our young offensive line as well, guys playing in different positions. Was that a tough transition back then?
No, it was actually easier because you didn't have to snap the ball first. So it made it a lot easier. You can come off the ball a little bit quicker.
Now, I read something that said you were like the 2nd-string punter in college. Is that true?
Yes.
How does that happen, right? Because you're this massive force, this massive being. I don't think you really correlate that to punting.
I wasn't always that big. I got recruited to Pitt. I was a quarterback linebacker in high school. So I played quarterback with a full cage on and a neck roll and basically ran the ball out of shotgun, and then defense middle linebacker. So I got drafted to Pittsburgh as a linebacker. And after my sophomore year, I was playing a little bit on special teams. Jackie Sherrill called me in, And he said, "Hey, Russ," he said, "we had like 4 to 5 guys on the offensive line group were seniors. They graduated." He said, "I think you can move over and play offensive line." And I looked at him dead square in the face. I said, "I've never had my hand in the dirt." I said, "I think I'll just stay at linebacker." He looked up and he says, "I'm not asking." So I went into the offensive line coach, Joe Moore, who's a famous O-line coach in college back in the day. And he said, "There's no greater feeling than moving a man from point A to point B against his will." He said, "I think you can do it." So I said, "I tried it. I liked it." That was the best summer I had.
So
Drinking a
was
lot
he
of
right?
beer.
Is there
Oh,
any better thing than moving a person from point A to point B?
no, it feels great. Every play. I mean, sometimes you don't do it. You say, "Hey, I'll be back in 30 seconds."
So it's wild to think that a converted quarterback that wore a neck roll, thinking of a quarterback wearing a neck roll is wild. I'm sure that was very, very intimidating. But an ex-quarterback, a backup punter, somebody that has all this athleticism, being able to do so many different things on that football field, being able to experience so many different positions, how did that help you be the best guard you could be, especially as a rookie?
Well, you understood all the positions. You knew what everybody had to do. So it was, I mean, at the center position, you have to make the calls and stuff like that. And one of the best things we did was we had Joe Bugle, and it was always you knew exactly who you had when you broke the huddle. You didn't have to sit there and wait for a call at the line of scrimmage. You know, Bostic may have made some calls, but most of them they were for the right side. Joe and I knew what we were doing on the left side.
And you mentioned Joe and you on that left side, possibly the most dominant combo we have ever seen. What was that relationship like between you two? Because on the field, that chemistry, it seemed like you guys played as one. What was your guys' relationship like, and what was it like playing alongside him?
Well, actually, Joe was my roommate. So we shared a townhouse together. So a 2-bedroom townhouse. He was my roommate, and we actually roomed together on the road. So I mean, we had and then we ended up getting married and stuff like that. But we used calls like kids' names and stuff like that. So we knew exactly what the other person was thinking, one and one and two.
Why was that important? Like, was that something that just kind of happened where you guys end up being roommates on the road, end up being roommates together? Or is that something that said, okay, listen, we understand how important our chemistry is being on the side together. We need to spend as much time together as possible?
I mean, you didn't have to spend a lot of time together, but it just you had a good feel for exactly when if they were stunting or if they were slanting and stuff like that, you'd make a little call if you picked up a tip or something and kind of knew each other, so knew when to come off and things like that. And yeah, it was always consistent. It's never like, okay, he threw him into me this time, or next time he carried him too far. I mean, you just had a feel for it, and I mean, we played a long time together. It was actually we had a good bunch. The whole bunch was good. The best thing about playing offensive line was when you have built that camaraderie. You don't want to be the guy to let anybody else down. So I mean, I'm protecting Theismann, Doug Williams, Mark Ripien, and hey, those guys are counting on me to get the job done. John Riggins, Timmy Smith, George Rogers, Ernest Biner, they're counting on you to get the job done so they don't get hit or take a blind shot.
So you mentioned you were with a good bunch. I think we could say it was better than a good bunch. I think it was a great bunch. Honestly, possibly the best offensive line we've ever seen in the Burgundy and Gold. They called you guys the Hogs. In that time when you guys were playing, did you guys understand and realize how special it was what you guys had? Or was it after the fact, after you guys all retire and see how revered you are by the fan base that you realized, oh man, this Hogs thing was legendary?
We kind of knew it was getting that way, but I mean, there's pluses and minuses to that. When we first got the name, everybody thought it was nice and cool. The fans all went out and bought shirts and noses and stuff like that. And then we realized that, hey, you get a name like that, it ticks off a lot of the defensive lines you're playing against. So, I mean, you had to step it up a little bit so you wouldn't be embarrassed.
When you think of those times, because that's what I think about, right? Like, everybody knew what the Hogs were. Everybody knew that they had to earn their money when they came and played you all. Does any memory stand out to you when you think about those other defensive line, those other teams that just were so angry at the fact that you guys were getting so much love? Do you have any stories like that where you're like, oh yeah, this defensive line, they really came out here with something to prove?
Oh, well, you knew some defensive lines were going to come in. Like Dallas, we always had a issue with Dallas. It's, you know, you wanted to beat them up as much as you could, no matter what the score was. And you always played some guys that they had one or two cheap shot guys that would always take cheap shots on the back. And like you put like little bounties on them, just your own. Back then it was so-called illegal, but we had a little slush fund that just between the guys, not through the team or anything, but just a little slush fund that said, we'll pick up the tab if so-and-so takes so-and-so out.
And it sounds like you guys took pride in being that force, in being so dominant, but also being scary, being intimidated to those other teams when you saw guys line up and you saw them giving you your best. What did that do for the group of you guys? What did that do for your guys' confidence and belief in yourself, knowing like, hey, we don't just believe in ourselves. The rest of the league sees what we're doing too.
Right. Well, I mean, every week you had to step up and prove it, and it's the thing that, when you play offensive line, you're not going to win every battle. But, I mean, you got to win the majority of them. So, hey, you just hope that, offensive line, if everybody doesn't do their job, I mean, Joe and I could take our guys 5 yards off the ball. If George Stark missed the cutoff on the backside, we don't make any yards. So it takes everybody. It's not just one person.
And when you talk about those championship teams, everybody says the same thing. No matter what position you talk to, what's cool about Next Man Up is we get to talk to a lot of the legends. And when you win 3 Super Bowls, it might be like your babies, right? It might be hard to pick which one is your favorite, right? Which kid you like a little more. Do you have a favorite Super Bowl out of the 3?
Yeah, the favorite was against Miami when John ran for all the yards. So, and that was the first Super Bowl. So, I mean, I've had a lot of favorites. One of my actual favorites is when I was coaching at Pittsburgh. When I was done playing, I was coaching at Pittsburgh when we won a Super Bowl, and it was Cowher's first Super Bowl, Hines Ward's first Super Bowl, Jerome Bettis's first Super Bowl. I just enjoyed coming out, after the game and standing there and watching those guys enjoy it. So, I mean, then obviously the worst feeling is when we lost to the Raiders, because that was probably one of the better teams I played on.
Everybody mentions that, and about how y'all just felt like y'all could not lose that game. Like when losing that Super Bowl almost seems as if it was heavier than the 3 that you guys were able to win. Do you feel that way? And when you look back at that Super Bowl, how hard is that to swallow even years later?
It's still hard to swallow. I mean, even though you win 3 and actually won another one as a coach, it's still like a dull spot that you got. And that's the worst feeling in the world. Nobody remembers a loser. Everybody always remembers a win, unless you're the loser. If you're the loser, you're going to remember it. I mean, I don't know how. I tell people all the time, one of the best teams we played was Buffalo, and they lost 4 in a row. And they never get the credit for being one of the great teams of all time. And they had a lot of great players, and they lost 4. I couldn't even imagine losing 1. I have a hard time dealing with that, yet alone 4.
Said like a true competitor. And you mentioned coaching. You make your transition into coaching right after winning a Super Bowl. You decide to say, you know what, this is my time to retire. Before we talk about your transition into coaching, was it even hard making that decision to retire? Because a lot of guys don't get to retire at the pinnacle, at the peak. Why was it important for you to say, you know what, it's time for me to wrap it up?
Well, I knew that season going in. In fact, at the beginning of the year, I had told the coaching staff that this will be my last year. I mean, I started as a rookie, had a lot of wear and tear on my body, and it was getting hard to make it week to week. I mean, like when I first came in the league, I asked an older guy, says, because I used to play on Sunday and just go golfing on Monday, feeling good. Then it started I'd be in the tub Monday and Tuesday. Then it started being almost till Friday. And I'm like going, gee. And they said, you'll know. They said, when it goes from week to week where you're still sore, he said, it's time to get out. And I didn't want to just hang on. If I couldn't play the way I was used to playing, then it was time.
And your body, I hear this from a lot of the legends, right? That your body is going to tell you before your mind tells you. So as your body's going through this and you're feeling like, okay, things are changing, how long did it take for the mind to catch up, though? Because it's one thing to be able to feel that you're done, but to be able to mentally say, yo, I've put my whole life to this. Like you said, I've been starting since a rookie. I've gotten all of these accolades and accomplishments. Was it harder for you to get your mind wrapped around, hey, this is over?
No, I knew when I was going into my last season, and I said, hey, I wanted to make this the best we could. And win Super Bowl or not, I knew it was going to be my last year because, my mind was already convinced that my body was done.
And I'm sure it's much easier to make that final decision when you do win a Super Bowl. What a way to end your career. And then again, you decide to be a coach. What goes into that decision making? And when did you know, okay, after football, I'm going to stick with this game and try to help the future of this league get better and improve?
I didn't actually know I wanted to be a coach. I retired, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, Joe Gibbs called me and asked me how things are going and asked me if I got a job yet. And I says, no. I said, I'm not really looking for one. He said, would you like to come back and coach the tight ends? And I said, well, what about Rennie Simmons, who was coaching? Oh, we moved him over to wide receivers. We moved another coach over. We would like you to coach at tight ends. Well, back then, the one back offense was basically, I mean, that guy's a glorified guard. So I had Donnie Warren, James Jenkins, Ron Middleton. And I mean, it was a plus for me for coaching because now I started to read secondaries and stuff like that. So I went back and was coaching guys that I had just finished playing with.
And you mentioned being able to be a coach and be on the sideline during a Super Bowl. Yes, you got to play in them, but it seems as if coaching gave you a different type of feeling. Like it was a little more special. Is that true when you're on the sideline as a coach and not as a player? Did that affect you a little more because you are helping mold young men in the future of the game?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, that was the best feeling in the world because, I mean, now, like when I was playing, I was responsible for myself. So I knew if I was prepared, if I knew what to do, stuff like that. When you're coaching, especially offensive line, you're in charge for most of the guys on the offense. 5, 6, 7 guys, your backup, stuff like that. So you got to make sure everybody's ready. Everybody can switch around. Everybody can play a different position. And yeah, it's a little bit stressful. I mean, you got to keep reminding yourself, and then you always get those 1 or 2 guys that don't want to put in the time, and you got to sit down and tell them, look, hey, you either start putting in the time, or you're next going to be saying paper or plastic at the grocery line.
Said like a true coach. And as somebody that's seen the game from different levels, right? As a player, played his whole life, and then also as a coach and found success there. When you look at our team today, the Commanders now, we have some people in the building that call them the wild boars, right? Because the dominance, the brotherhood, the camaraderie of our offensive line currently feels a lot like what we saw back in the good old days with the Hogs. When you see this new ownership and this coaching staff make an investment into the offensive line, get a guy like Laramie Tunsil, draft a guy like Josh Conley Jr. in the first round, that got to make you smile a little bit as an offensive line guy. How important is it to be able to invest in your offensive line when you have a quarterback like Jayden Daniels?
It does. I mean, that's what I think they've been missing for a while is you got to build it up front. And they started building the defensive line a couple years ago, and now they put some thought and interest in the offensive line. Because, I mean, you can have great quarterbacks and wide receivers and stuff like that, but they ain't going to run anywhere unless they got time and they got holes to go through.
It wins in the trenches. Games are won in the trenches, or like Fred Smoot says, the guys that smell like bacon. You talk about the quarterback, Jayden Daniels. You got to play with some great ones in your time. When you look at what Jayden Daniels has been able to do in just a year, what he's been able to do for this fan base, for this organization, how do you feel about the year 2 quarterback?
I think he's going to be a great one. I really do. I think he's sharp. I like his attitude. He says the right thing. He's got good work habits. And, I mean, he just has to stay healthy, which I think he will because they put some money in the offensive line now, and you're going to get some little nicks and stuff like that. But, you know, Marcus could back it up. I had Marcus when I was coaching in Tennessee. So, I mean, I know what he's capable of, and he's a reliable backup. But, yeah, Jane's an A-plus quarterback in the league.
And Russ, it's so great to talk to you. And I love the fact that our Washington Legends, even though you guys may have played for other teams, been in other places, for some reason it seems like this burgundy and gold is truly home. Now, of course, when you win Super Bowls, that's going to make any place like home. But for you, why has Washington been a place where the name Russ Grimm is synonymous with that burgundy and gold? Why do you think that is, and why do you have so much love for not only this team but this fan base?
Well, the big thing back then was we didn't have any free agency. So, I mean, when your contract came up, you know, 1 year I was the highest paid. Next year, Jacoby was the highest paid. Next year, Bostic may have been the highest paid. And it kind of rolled that way. I mean, they just kept it at that. And, you know, we thought it was a lot of money back then. But now you got some of these college kids making more money than that.
Let me tell you, it's still a lot of money to some of us. Russ, we appreciate your time so much. Before we let you go, when you look back at everything you were able to accomplish on that field, not as a player, but as a coach as well, and the things you're doing now, what do you want Russ Grimm's legacy to be? What do you want Russ Grimm to be remembered for when we're talking to our grandkids, their kids, about the Hogs, about Russ Grimm, and what he's able to accomplish on that field?
I would just say, when it came down to it, crunch time, run the ball behind 68 and 66. So we'll get it done.
And you guys did get it done. Commanders family, one of the best to ever do it, taking his time to pull up on the Next Man Up podcast. Our guy, Russ Grimm. Russ, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the Burgundy and Gold, man. We appreciate you so much.
And good luck all season. I'll get down to a few games.
Yes, sir. You let us know when you get down, and we'll make sure we have you around and have you pull up on the show, Russ. We appreciate you.
All right. Take care, Brian.
Commanders family, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Next Man Up. Remember, you can stream all of the Next Man Up episodes right now on the Commanders YouTube page or the audio wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for supporting the Next Man Up podcast. You allowed us to be nominated for not one, but 2 People's Choice Podcast Awards, Best Male Hosted and Best Black Male Hosted Podcast. And that's all because of the best fans in the NFL. I appreciate y'all so much for supporting us. It's crazy to think we're already in season 3 of Next Man Up, and we have a lot more to go. So make sure to subscribe to the Commanders YouTube page so you don't miss any of our content. I'm Brian Coble Jr., and this is Next Man Up.